Okay, this is Taryn again, giving the second of these presentations of feedback on the first assignment for Nora. And once again, I have to thank my tutors for their input in the material that you'll find here. So this presentation is about specifically how to format or present your essay. And as an example, what I've done is to simply search for Penelope-Ad on Google Scholar and take the first of the papers that comes up when you do that. A relatively recently published article. And this is just to show just how universal some of the things I'm going to demonstrate are, because we'll see this kind of formatting everywhere and it's worth your trying to reproduce it yourself. So there's our link. This is just the second page of that article, which shows a couple of features. Now, the first thing here you'll notice is that the right margin is justified. So what we mean is that the text is spread out so that it touches both the left and right margins. And there's in basically every word processor known to man, there is a button that will automatically transform your text like this. Now this looks nice. It's the way in which printed works have been presented for 500 years, and also manuscripts and even inscriptions on stone in Roman times and so on. It looks nice, but importantly, it actually makes the text easier to read, because the eye has something to follow on both sides. It's a nice square, and as your eye goes over the text, you can easily go from left to right without losing your place. So it's easier to read, and I would recommend that you use it, although you're not obliged to. You'll notice too, we've got a quotation here, but with this style of formatting, you don't use spaces between paragraphs, you just indent the first line of the paragraph, and you can see that in the paragraph after the quotation. One of the problems that we noted was an overuse of italics in the text, and you'll note here that italics are used for quite specific things. So firstly, titles of books or texts. So A Theory of Parody, Penelope-Ad, Wait, these are all titles of works, and they should be italicized, and they are italicized here. Another use for italics is foreign words. So where you are using a term that is not an English term but still forms part of your sentence, you indicate that it's not English by putting it in italics. And this is basically all you need italics for in an essay. You'll notice here that quotations are not italicized. So short quotations, and basically everyone got this right, short quotations are put in quotation marks, and they are in line with the text. So this is quotations up to about 2 lines long, followed of course by a reference. But no italics. Did I mention no italics? And long quotations are indented with a space before and after them to set them off from the main text. In a standard printing technique is to indent on both the left and the right, but you don't have to do that. It just needs to be indented on the left with spaces before and after, and of course the reference. And you notice again, just to repeat the point, there are no italics. The only italics that are used here are the italics that are found in the original piece of text that's being quoted. Okay, so this is basically what a bit of scholarly writing should look like. There are some differences that have specifically to do with the context that you're writing in, and the first of those is that your essay should be double-spaced. This is simply because we need the space to add comments, and this goes for electronic submission as well as paper. So leave us space to add comments, but otherwise you can follow the formatting layout of these works. The essay I've just shown you uses Harvard-style referencing. You should use Chicago-style referencing because this is the English department standard. So you can look on the university's website to find out more information about that. And finally, styles should generally be British Australian rather than American styles. So for example, single quotation marks. And this is slightly different in the American example I've just given you. And most importantly of all, the thing you need to do is to check your work before submitting. Read it over, get someone else to read it over, look at the PDF before you submit a PDF, make sure it looks right and make sure it's spelt right. It makes it much easier for us to read, and that means it makes it much easier for us to give you marks. I hope you can apply this information to your subsequent essays, and I'm looking forward to reading them.